Well, yo, what it is, everybody? Thanks for tuning back into another episode here on the Speedbug channel. Today we got another day. We are continuing to build on our wonderful GSXR-600, and we got the exhaust in. So I already unwrapped it. I'm gonna just jump right into it and just tell you what we got. We got the M4 carbon. I did go with stainless because this is not getting carbon fiber wheels and ceramic brakes and all that other crap. It's primarily a street bike. I'm probably might even leave the mirrors on this joker, but this is the new carbon fiber muffler. Yes, it technically is a muffler. Let me open this and show you, even though it is straight through, but it is a muffler. And we have our primaries, beautiful primaries. Look at those welds. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. We have our mid pipe where O2 goes that we won't even be using. And of course we have our other mid pipes and our primaries with our crossover tube. So we will go ahead and install all of our hardware, which we have our bolts here with our clamps, springs, spigots, and of course I went ahead and threw one in. And again, as you guys have seen with the wonderful things with the GoPro, you could see you could stick this thing almost damn near anywhere. So we'll go ahead and get the old exhaust gaskets out, which is right here, and start installing this new badass M4 full exhaust. And then we'll change the oil, give this joker some revs, and take it out and start racing. So I will tell you this, I also did do another thing, which you get to check me out on Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, it's a Speedbug, same name here as YouTube. We went ahead and did install the BMC race air filter as well, and did a couple other things, but I did not film any of that, just small little amounts of intake work, just to get a little bit of extra air. But if you have a Suzuki, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, but y'all can figure it out a little bit later. But I did not film that video, so it would have been like 2 or 3 minutes, and I just didn't do it. So, but let's go ahead and get this one joking. Let's go get this one installed in, and let's get to it. Alright, we are here, Blaze Cycle, getting the GSXR-600 tuned and ready to go on the dyno. It is blistering wet outside, and I've kind of jumped all around in this video, but I'll explain further later, so I'm just going to cut right to the end. Alright, so we got the GSXR-600 here in the dyno, getting ready to pull the ECU out to pull this joker to be flashed at the one and only Blaze Cycle. Got my boy Paul doing the work as always. We'll see what this joker puts down. I'm just gonna, I know this video's kind of been all over the place. It's been 2 and 3 back and forth, you know, straight from the build. I know you didn't get to hear it start up and everything like that. I traditionally do it, but I had a pretty serious lip injury where I actually bit my lip in my sleep. I don't know why. It was the first time I've ever done it, so that's also been a reason of the lack of videos and also me being on camera. It's actually still going on right now. It's still in its healing process, but I wanted to jump in and finish off the last part of the dyno session of the video here with you all and let you guys know exactly how everything and how everything went. So just again, please keep in mind that I haven't really been able to talk much lately, so that's also another reason why the lack of the dialogue and the content on the GSXR-600 build has happened, and a lot of the sped up time lapses because, well, hell, I just couldn't talk. So, but overall, let me slide this out so you guys can see it. It is on the stand, so it makes it a little easier to see. The exhaust is on. And I will say this, of all the exhausts that I did install, it was definitely one of the most difficult. Why? Where it actually meets the collector underneath here, where the header is, for just some odd reason, it, you know, it just really didn't line up all that well, and I kind of had to like move it, tweak it, and bend it. But for the rest of the fitment and stuff like that, everything else worked okay. Again, this is the stainless system. I did not go with the tie. This is a street bike. So to me, it just really wasn't needed. The bike went in. It initially dynoed at 109 on this specific dyno to the tire with these sprockets, and then ended up finishing out at 120. So that's a pretty damn good gain, and gained, I think, 4 or 5 foot-pounds of torque. We lost about maybe 15 pounds or so with this exhaust as opposed to the OEM exhaust. So it definitely lightened it up a bit. And then, of course, because it is a 600, it is rev happy and things like that, we ended up sprocketing the bike just to give it a little bit more pep and a little bit more torque that the bike could utilize that it just doesn't have, because it doesn't have the stroke that traditionally like a 1000 would or anything like that. But I went down one in the front and up one in the back, and it is the perfect combo. Needless to say that I would have to really clutch the bike in first gear to get it to lift up. It would sometimes bob when it was, you know, an all factory trim, but now, I mean, if I get on it, it'll just, you know, come right up and flip over. So we also increase the RPM limiter. We put that up a little bit to give it a little bit more RPM to also take advantage of the sprockets now that it's going to actually... the motor's going to have to spin a little bit faster to do the same mile per hour. All within, obviously, safe range and things like that. And then, of course, on the tune and stuff like that up top, just to keep the motor happy, we fattened it up, as opposed to a lot of people like to lean it out to get a little bit more power. So I would rather have it be fat and happy than and have the pistons a little cooler. And it worked out perfectly fine and worked out great. Could I have got an extra horsepower or two if I would have leaned it out? Yeah, sure. But again, for how long? So I think that was a very wise decision. And also stay tuned for the race. I am taking this bike and I am going to be racing it against my old BMW, against a friend of mine that he's kind of new to riding, but again, his bike still makes a lot more power. You saw that bike makes well over 200, but it's going to be experience versus, you know, me manually riding this. And of course, I also did the two-step and launch control on this. A quick shifter and such is probably going to be coming soon as well in the works. But given the mods that this bike has done with the fully flashed ECU, the tune, the sprockets, the full exhaust, the intake, and trimmed the secondary runners, runners 2 and 3, it really woke it up, and it really makes it a fantastic street bike, and I couldn't not recommend this any bit more for the street. It's very forgiving. It's very nice to ride around on the street. It's almost, and I would say it's obviously more comfortable than the 1000, but it's almost or just as fun to ride this bike as it is the 1000, because the 1000 is just so fast on the street. As soon as you really get into its power band, you have to stop. Where this, you kind of get to have fun and really go. And now that you really get to rev this thing out and take this thing to 16,500 RPM safely. And again, as long as you just do your maintenance, you keep your oil changed and everything else, and chain lubed, again, it should last, you know, a lifetime for you and for anybody else that currently has one. So we are going to take it to the quarter mile to the track. I will run it. Traditionally 600s, you know, some of them can scrape into the high 10s, but I assume this one will probably do mid 10s or so. Of course, with me riding it, and probably in the 130 mile per hour range, which is extremely fast still for a 600. Definitely not going to be in any 1,000 territory, maybe 1,000 territories if they were stock or if there was a novice rider, but we'll see what happens. Again, this bike will, you know, these are the factory Suzuki tires. They suck, so we'll just burn these up and use these up at the track, and then we'll get some Dunlops like I have on that, or some Michelins like I've traditionally done, and those seem to work out really good on the street as well as for some turns. But she turned out great. I can't say anything bad about it. It is 100% good, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. And then the next video you guys will see will actually me be riding it around on the street. I'll give it a further in-depth review, kind of a little bit of me dicking around on it, and then of course we will also be at the racetrack having fun racing my old S1000 RR, the black one that everybody knows, not the white one, not the 2020. I sold that joker. I did not like that bike. If anything, I hated that bike almost as much as the V4. I thought it sucked, and the only thing, it was just more reliable than the V4. But that's gonna wrap it up here for today's video. I hope you guys liked what you saw. If you have any questions regarding this, let me know or comment below. You know I always read them and try and answer everything. And thanks for tuning in. Facebook, Instagram, @TheSpeedBug, same name. Here's YouTube. Peace.